Today we're talking about the recent announcement of Murders at Karlov Manor, but not specifically about the set, though I'm sure we'll get into some of those details, but more about everything that's going on with the set.
There's a lot going on. There's not even that many spoilers yet, and it's one of those times where I wish there was more setting spoiled, where story, like, be able to start diving into it. It's one of those things where I like the idea of the whole murder investigation. We're not just, it's a battle, right? Like, there's intrigue, there's something going on.
Yeah.
Even with the last set, the one that's currently out, the Lost Caverns of Ixalan, it's an exploration, right? It's into the unknown.
Yeah. What I find interesting about this, that I don't know, I can't quite put my finger on it. The thing about this set that is kind of getting me on a certain level, like I love murder mysteries. I said in our Discord that I've seen every episode of Murder, She Wrote, Columbo. I'm a huge Sherlock Holmes fan. I think the Sherlock show, the BBC Sherlock show with Benedict Fishy Buns, is one of the best series ever. For some reason, I don't know why, but the idea of a murder mystery being such a big thing on a plane like Ravnica doesn't land with me in a weird way. Like, it does, but it doesn't. Like, it's odd. There is a freaking murder circus cult on this plane.
Yes. Yes.
And yet they're all like, oh, there's been a murder. It's like, yes, because it's Tuesday, you know?
Part of what I was reading into a little bit is it's apparently not just one murder.
Yeah.
And there's been a string of murders, right? There's a serial killer out there. But then again, it's also like, you have Rakdos. Not the demon, but just the cult, right?
Yeah.
There's literally a assassin called Massacre Girl.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you expect to happen?
Yeah, like, well, I think that's part of the reason why this hit me weird, was because they decided to highlight the Massacre Girl art, and then Blake is trying to. So our first culprit, or our first suspect, is Massacre Girl, like, but these murders are a little too subtle for her, and it's like, oh, so we're not gonna check out the murders that she did that aren't subtle, you know?
Well, there's a few things there that go on politically. I'm assuming there's some sort of assassination, bribery. You can't tell me that Zorius isn't corrupt at all.
Oh, yeah.
But even then, what's weird to me is Massacre Girl isn't a legendary creature. In theory, is just, a archetype of a character. Like, are they going to become legendary finally? Are they going to be named?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like, I don't know, like, I get that is a nitpick in the grand scheme, but I just find it funny that, like, it's like, oh, murder mystery on the same plane as this murder circus cult.
I mean, it's interesting because, like, again, to the same point, and then, like, you have Demir, which is all assassins and things like that too, and ninjas. And, I mean, not the plane of ninjas, but same color scheme.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, half of the guilds are doing really bad things.
Yeah.
Arguably all of them in different ways, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, but because Alquist Proft is on the case, I know that's a play on, I know they're doing a nod to like murder mystery detective names, but God, that name drives me nuts.
So pompous.
Yeah, I know. Alquist Proft.
The way I feel about him, like that guy who's so sure of everything, but his psychic's actually the one that does all the work.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole omen paths and everything else. And we've had a little taste of it with people from different planes starting to show up on other ones, right? Besides Kellen. I'm hoping that's the twist at the end of this Murders at Karlov Manor, is that it's not anyone from Ravnica.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
That'd be interesting. That's an interesting take. I had never considered that. That's a really interesting take. I took the stupid take of I think it's Lazav, but not really Lazav. It's another shapeshifter pretending to be Lazav to frame Lazav at his own game.
What if it was just Urza?
That'd be great. Surprise.
He's just like all hippie looking and no one recognizes him anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Circling back to Rakdos, it's interesting that he's like over 10,000 years old, flavor text and all. And like, he was there at the signing of the guild pack stuff, and he just kind of does his own thing. Like,
yeah.
I mean, while he has his murder cult that does like circuses and all this other crap. He could just do whatever he wants and not really anyone's going to do much about it.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't. Like, he's like, whatever.
Yeah. I think that would be an interesting story eventually to just, kind of explore that a little bit more, explore him as a character and even as a villain,
Maybe that whole origination of the guilds, right?
Uh-huh.
Like kind of like somewhat how we had the Brothers War flashback. Give us a flashback to the start of that.
Oh my God. I would love to see that. Oh man, that makes, I want that. I want that.
Yeah, it'd be cool though, because like the amount of chaos it takes to get that level of uniformity and them saying, okay, we're the 10, right? Like what happened to get to that point?
Yeah. Oh man, now I want to do that. Oh God.
There'd be another Rakdos card.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think one of the other things that I wanted to talk about with this set is now this set is not supposed to be a Ravnica set. It just happens to be set on Ravnica, which is fine. The thing that I noticed when I was watching last week's weekly MTG is there was a lot in what they were revealing. Not only like, and I'll just take the treatments of the cards. So we've got the regular treatment, and then we've got the magnifying glass treatment, which admittedly, yes, very cool treatment. I really like it. My personal favorite treatment is the dossier treatment. I really like that. Well, so going back to the magnifying glass, it essentially looks like a magnifying glass is hovering over different sections of the card, and it's really well done. The dossier treatment makes it look like it's a file in a dossier about a particular character, whatever character it is. So if it's Aurelia or Rakdos or whatever.
I love that with the dossier treatment, the flavor text is dossier-like.
Yeah, like the one for meddling youths was, these kids are often seen with an abnormally intelligent dog or something like that.
Right. It's like, okay, Scoob.
Yeah. It's like, hey, Scoob. Sorry, that is a horrible Shaggy, and I'll never do it again. So they have that treatment. Then they have the Ravnica City treatment for the guild leaders, which is essentially, it was a similar treatment to the special guest cards from March of the Machine for Ravnica. So like the Aurelia, if you think of the Aurelia from the March of the Machine card, that treatment, it's the same treatment as that, similar. And then there's the Clue game that they're doing, which I think is neat, but in addition to also changing to the play booster, which admittedly is a slight simplification, but there's just a lot. There's a lot going on with this set. It's just a lot.
Those few things there too. So we have also serialized, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with the change to play booster, I was reading that they're changing up the fat pack bundles, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it went from being 8 set boosters to 9 play boosters, which sounds nice.
Yeah.
And instead of it being like 40 basic lands, 20 being hollow, 20 non, you're getting 10 full art, which is also nice. I prefer that, right?
Yeah, me too.
But it's also going up by $15.
Yeah.
So like you're going to be spending $50 on one of these things. And it's like, I really hope those packs have some good pulls. And it's funny, speaking of that with the play booster thing, because of the change, because there's less common slots in the boosters, they have less common cards. So there's like 80 something for this set, and there's like 100 something uncommons. Doesn't that make the uncommons common?
Not necessarily, because it depends on the rate at which you can pull them. So what's most likely going to happen is that means that we're going to get more duplicates of the commons, and any singular uncommon will actually be harder to get. Again, assuming they match up the pull rates. Like if they change the pull rates, which I would imagine they would do. But I see what you're saying. It definitely does skew the numbers a bit.
Right. It'll be interesting to see if you do one of your crack a box things again.
Yeah.
How that comes out with your totals at the end.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I'm super excited about that now that you mention that. I am super excited to do them for Karlov Manor, because even more so than set boosters, I think set boosters you could get up to 3 rares in a pack. In play boosters, you're supposedly be able to get up to 4. So I'll be interested in that, if that skews the numbers at all.
It's a bit easier to get your hands on that many boosters when they're all the same, other than the collector now.
That's a very good point. But yeah, that I'm excited to try that out now.
Other interesting things though with that, like we have that Clue side thing. They call it like an annex product.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was reading up on that before we started talking, because I didn't even know it was a whole different product. I thought it was just like Transformer cards tossed in, right?
Nope. Yeah, no, it's a whole different thing.
Nope. It's like a variation of Jumpstart that's its own separate product that has 8 packs that come in it that have like 21 cards each. You're supposed to take 2 packs, put them together, and play. But it's not Magic. It's like a variation of the game because Magic is a product of Wizards, which is owned by Hasbro, which also owns Cluedo, which is the maker of Clue.
Yep.
So they're like, hey, guess what? We want to do a cross product.
Exactly.
It's fitting with the theme. I think it's a great way to do it. Again, I'll be super disappointed if they don't have a secret layer Scooby-Doo. But
I still think they are. I think it. Yeah.
If they don't, like, I am seriously going to lose some faith in this company.
Well, it makes sense because they did the Transformers. They've done Street Fighter. They've done Jurassic Park. They seem to be finding stuff. And this is a murder mystery. What is Scooby-Doo? You know?
And they already teased the idea with the meddling youths, and now we all want it. It wasn't even a thought before. And I saw that and I was like, hey, that looks familiar. But with that, there's apparently like one new card in the whole freaking thing. You're going to get one fetch land in the box.
Shockland.
Yeah, Shockland, sorry.
Okay, fine.
So you're going to get one of those, a few other things, and it's like there's going to be a way to do it where either you like kill your opponent Magic style or you deduce whatever's going on Clue style. It'll be interesting to see. I think more people are going to buy those just for the cards.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're all Commander legal.
Yeah, I'm interested to see because apparently they at MagicCon Chicago they're gonna have where you can enter and play the Clue game variant game, and it's actually the cheapest side event that they have going. It's only $20, but I think that's because you just get the 2 packs out of the box, and then maybe the winner gets the Shockland. I have no idea, but probably, hopefully more than that. The tickets definitely, but I kind of want to do that just to see what it's like. It's definitely an interesting product. I'm excited to see what it does because I because of the whole stuff of liking all those murder mysteries and stuff like that. Clue was my favorite board game as a kid. So, but I did like some of the cards coming off of it. The Senator Peacock and Commander Mustard. I thought that was amusing. Yeah.
You're gonna get someone showing up with a mustard deck.
Oh yeah. I recognize that I'm an old man yelling at clouds, but I, there is a part of me that kind of wishes we could go back to a little bit of a simpler set stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, it's interesting because like the main set is, at least at this point, is simpler, right? It's not some massive overarching plot that's going to take them 4 sets to get through.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This isn't the Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
Like we're at the new part again where the new movies are coming out and no one knows who anyone is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think I appreciate that because like they're getting a little bit more creative with it, like the whole murder mystery of this, right? The whole exploration into the inner planet. Yeah. Right. And then like even then with the Wilds of Eldraine, the whole sleep problem and like everything that happened at post Phyrexian invasion, and it's the whole brother sister like combat, like everything that was going on with that. It's definitely different from those stories we've been getting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that they're getting more into that the magical lore, literally.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think that's definitely a good shift from what we've been getting, because we have been getting these just massive multiple planes, story arcs. And it's nice to have a little bit lower stakes,
I might end up eating my own words on this because like, I don't know how the Outlaws of Thunder Junction is going to go. Like maybe it goes too far too casual. I don't know. Yeah. Right. Because now we're going to have, cowboys and whatever, but I feel like hopefully they do it well. I'm curious with the Outlaws there because like people think that's Rakdos flying and he's way too small. It's like, is he like a mile behind everybody?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
But interesting thing I was reading on a little bit earlier, and this is absolutely worthless information, but did you know that the Outlaws set is the 100th Magic set?
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I got to say, I'm a bit fascinated by this Outlaw set, this Outlaws at Thunder Junction, for a couple of reasons. The thing with Outlaws at Thunder Junction is for the longest time, people would ask for a Western set, and they basically would be like, we probably not going to happen at least for a really long time because we need to get around a couple of problems, a couple of common tropes within the Western set that people would expect, but we wouldn't be able to deliver on. And the the common discussion would talk about guns, because Wizards has I don't know if they still do, but at least at one point they had a 0 guns on Magic cards rule.
Well, I mean, we did have Warhammer 40K.
Yeah. And I think that rule, maybe the rule got 86'd because of Universes Beyond, and they were like, we need to, if we want to do Warhammer, we need to get rid of this rule. It could be the rule never existed and it was just fan speculation. But the bigger thing for Thunder Junction for me is the fact that I'm fascinated by it, and I'm looking forward to it. But the name Thunder Junction,
yeah.
It you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, what's that game with the guy? I know that's super specific. The game with the guy and the thing. You shoot a gun. It's kind of set in a dystopian world.
That doesn't tell me much.
Yeah, I know. I'm like doing the worst job ever explaining this game. Claptrap is a character from
Borderlands.
Borderlands. Yes. I was like, I wanted to say it started with a B, but it reminds me of Borderlands. Like the Thunder Junction just reminds me of a Borderlands-like game. Name.
I can honestly see it, because especially the first Borderlands game was very deserty at first, and like things falling apart, and you have just random skags going around, and yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of that, and I can't, like, while I do think that Borderlands in a lot of ways is at least those parts of it were very Western style, like that was kind of the tropes they were going for, but I just can't square that circle. Like, I'm like, how are they gonna get? I don't know. And now I'm wondering if they're gonna have a Borderlands secret layer during that set.
I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, they have Assassin's Creed and Final Fantasy coming. Like,
yeah.
Like, okay. I mean, why don't we get a Claptrap? Right.
Oh yeah. I think it would fit. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do. We're either going to get that or we're going to get, we could potentially get Red Dead cards during Thunder Junction.
That would be so weird.
It would. I don't think, I think for some reason Rockstar Games seems like that's a bridge too far for Wizards. I don't know why, but that just feels like it to me.
I agree that it's weird, because like I can't explain why not with everything else we've gotten.
Yeah.
But it's like, it just feels like Rockstar to go no.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I suspect it's because there's a level of I don't know, it's hard to explain. There's something about Rockstar Games like Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption that they play in a space of satire through amplification of violence and crime that I don't think Wizards wants to associate with. I think
the big thing that I see is just the biggest hurdle is the fact that Rockstar makes games that are 17 plus and Magic is a 13 plus game.
Yeah, I think you just took what I said and made it make sense. I think you just hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what it is. I think that it's just it's a little too much.
From a land for turn, I'm going to put down a strip club.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
I don't know. Just I've experienced a lot of Rockstar.
Yeah.
So it's like, it just doesn't feel right for a card game.
Yeah.
Especially because it's like, oh, hey, we're going to play Los Venturas. Right. And every time I tap this, I get a treasure token. If I sack 3 treasure tokens, I get to open a casino.
Exactly. Yeah. It just doesn't seem to fit.
One of the things like I was thinking about, because like they talk about all these investigations, these clues, all these things that they're putting into this, right? Like outside of just cards. I'm curious to what's going to come of it. Like the whole story connecting all these dots with your cork board and your threads, right?
Yeah.
Because like a lot of people don't even know that they did something a lot smaller but similar back with Tamio's journal with the clue tokens and all that.
They also did it with was it ad cards, or was it, or you might be talking about the same thing I am, where it had the printing on the side on the borders?
No, what I'm talking about is like there's a bunch of clue tokens that came out in the one Innistrad set. And like the journal numbers correlated to like the order, and then like what letters you took of what words, and like it made something about the like pretty much the Eldrazi coming back.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. I know that it might have been that set. It might have been another set. I think it might have been, I'm pretty sure it was around that set. Shadows of Innistrad into Eldritch Moon, the ad card, I can't remember if it was the ad cards or if it was the token cards, one of them, they had printing on the borders. And when you put the cards together, you could read what they said. And they gave clues. I might be getting it mixed up with another mystery that they did at another set at another time, but they've done similar stuff. I'm actually really interested in the puzzles. And for listeners who don't know, the puzzles, they're doing puzzles that will be like through the flavor text and the cards that the community is supposed to solve. And all of the puzzles together will help solve a meta puzzle, a larger meta puzzle that will reveal a direction that Magic is going in the future, which I am very interested in. I'm also going to be very interested to see how quickly these puzzles get solved.
Right. It's probably like 2 days in, but I think they're trickling them out.
Yeah.
Now, just a final question for you.
Okay.
Who do you think is getting murdered in Karlov Manor? The easy guess is the owner of Karlov Manor, Teysa Karlov. But I feel like it's not her.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's some other no-name person, or it could be a name person. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure because it's hard because I think Teysa's a good guess because that's always the trope, the person who, it's kind of like in Clue, it's Mr. Body's mansion and Mr. Body is the one who's bodied. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
They have to be important enough for the Boros to get involved.
Yeah, and that goes a little bit back to what I was saying is that like it almost has to be a guild leader, or it almost has to be like high-ranking members within the guild.
I guess Nahiri was the murderer because she's going around jumping through wormholes, killing things.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Yeah,
which is very on par for her.
Yeah, very. It's like, okay, who done it? Oh, let's make the unhinged lithomancer. Come on, over here. And that about does it for today. You can find DM Dingo on Twitch or on the FDS Discord. You can find me, FDS MTG, here on YouTube, FDS MTG, as well as on Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, FDS MTG, basically everywhere. Also on TikTok as well. Thank you so much for listening, and you all have a wonderful day.